Welcome to another edition of Bearcats All Access. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. Cincinnati's football team, fresh off of a bye week, getting ready to play UCF, an always emotional game. We check in with head coach Scott Satterfield on the keys to making sure they walk out with a win. Plus, we sit down with linebacker Jared Bartlett and hear his emotional story and how he became a leader for the Bearcats in his first season here. All that plus some great features from the University of Cincinnati. That and so much more coming up on Bearcats All Access right now.
Bearcats All Access, sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
So coming off the bye week, what was the most important thing that you guys got done?
I think probably the most important was get healthy. You know, we were beat up after the Texas Tech game, and we had several guys that were down, including most of our running backs. But I think we got healthy throughout that week, and we're still in the process this week of getting healthy as well. And then I think probably the second thing was just our young guys. We got a lot of reps with our young guys, guys that are, maybe down the road will be players for us, maybe even this year.
Do you take full advantage of these 2 weeks in preparation for the single game against UCF coming up?
It's not a full game plan toward UCF. A lot of it is fundamentals, things that we have not done well in the first 5 games. What can we get better at? A lot of special teams work as well. And then you sprinkle in a little bit with the UCF.
The last few years, especially this University of Cincinnati versus UCF game, it seems to have gained a lot of emotion between the two teams. What does this game stand out from an emotional standpoint to you?
Yeah, I think, two really good programs, particularly over the last 25 years. I think, you look at Central Florida a few years back, claimed the national championship. I think, a couple years back here at Cincinnati, played in the Final Four. I mean, so, two programs that at that group of 5 level that had great success, and now we're both kind of moving up at the same time, and now we're in the same conference, and we're competing against each other. We're competing in recruits. So I think there's just a lot of competition. You think about our conference in the Big 12. We're 2 of the teams on the East Coast, so to speak, where everybody else I feel like is a lot of them are West and Midwest. So I think there's a lot of similarities in that regard. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between the 2 programs. We're both trying to gain respect now in the Power 4 level.
Having to play this game in Orlando, what challenges does that present?
Yeah, well, I think particularly this week, you're looking at the weather. Hurricanes coming in, a particularly strong hurricane, so we're going to play that by ear as we get closer to game time. There's a grass surface, so what's the surface going to be like? These are some things that really are kind of outside our control that we're thinking about it. And then you're going on the road in the Big 12 at a team that they have a lot of pride. They have their students come out to the games. It's a hostile environment. They nicknamed the bounce house. The aluminum bleachers, and they're banging on them. It's loud. You know what we're going into. I think for us, fortunately, we just came off a game at Texas Tech, which I thought was an outstanding environment, 60,000. It was loud, and our guys did a great job handling that. And so hopefully the experience we've gained throughout this season in those kind of environments will help us as we play Central Florida.
Brendan Sorsby, we talk about him every week. It seems like he keeps on leveling up, even in the loss to Texas Tech. What do you want to see out of him coming off of a bye, coming off of a lot of great games, going back on the road?
I think for him it's always take what the defense gives you. Don't try to force the ball. Take the underneath if it's there. I think he's done a great job in his decision making. That's what he's got to continue to do.
For you guys to walk away with a road victory at UCF, what's it going to take?
Well, I think offensively we're going to have to go out and even though they're good run stoppers, we got to be able to run the football, and we got to be able to score points. I feel like, against this team, one of the best offenses in the country, we're going to have to put points on the board, particularly in an environment away. And defensively, we got to do a great job of tackling the football, wherever that is. If it's a quarterback, if it's the running back, we cannot let them get the run established and then stay on top in the passing game. If we do that, then we'll come out victorious.
Coming up on Bearcats All Access, the Cincinnati volleyball team, they are figuring it out. Double-digit wins already before Big 12 play begins. We sit down with sophomore star Sydney Nolan.
Keys to Success, sponsored by Columbia Hyundai and Genesis of Montgomery.
How has having a sports psychology and wellness team helped you as a student athlete?
We take the holistic health of our student athletes very seriously. You have options of who you'd like to talk to. You'd have options of what you'd like to talk about, if it's mental health, if it's mental performance, if it's a little bit of both.
The main thing we do is provide individual one-on-one counseling in sports performance sessions. We also do some group work. We do workshops either for individual teams or for the department as a whole, and we just generally try to provide space for the student athletes to feel like they can come be their full selves.
With our new space, we now have a chill room and a little study room so student athletes can come throughout the day to use the spaces if they need them.
A couple of avenues that really stick out for me as UC has committed to the growth and development of this department. So still a very young department starting in January 22. Of course, the endowment that was started by Travis Kelsey definitely helped. We've had other donors with an interest in supporting student-athlete mental health that has helped. Our AD, John Cunningham, is committed to the overall health of the department by encouraging our staff and our coaches to participate in mental health first aid training.
Taking care of my mental health is so important to me because I believe it's as important as taking care of my physical health.
It's important that everyone knows that it's okay to reach out for help and that there are people there for them.
Therapy and stuff like that is gets expensive. It's not super accessible to a lot of people. It's not super time-wise accessible for us. So I feel like having someone here that you can go to with ease. I can just walk down to her office and tell her, or I see her walking around in the hallways and I just stop her and I tell her something that's going on with me for the day. So I feel like it's just nice to have them around, even if you don't, go to regular sessions every single week. Just seeing them in the halls and knowing that you have somebody to talk to at all times.
With the new travel schedules, we're now traveling to every time zone. Sleep is a big topic that we've emphasized and spent a lot of time educating athletes on in the group setting and also individually in some of our sessions.
I take care of my mental health by making sure that I get as much food as I need to, make sure that I sleep as much as I need to, give myself the time to relax, not taking too much stress on myself.
I take care of my mental health personally by spending time with friends outside of my sport and doing things like meditation and journaling.
Some mental health programming I utilized here at UC is just talking to our mental health advocates daily when I see them, just talking to them.
I really feel like our psychology and sports and wellness team have really been a great resource for me and have been a really safe space for me to, go and just talk about how I'm feeling. They've always been there for me.
Seeing the stigma around mental health treatment is important because at the end of the day, being able to support each other when we're able to talk about our mental health is incredibly important because it's nothing that anyone has to go through alone.
Yes, I do believe everyone goes through hard times. It is definitely normal and okay to ask for help because it's life. Like I said, no one is perfect. Everyone is going to go through something in life. There's always trials and tribulations. So it's definitely normal and okay to ask for help.
I feel like you can get out your comfort zone, go to a person you trust truly. For me, I go to my coach, like Coach Satterfield, or my D-line coach, Walt Stewart. And those people I trust, including my mom, those people I trust, I can go to any day of the week and talk to them about how my day going. And
taking care of mental health is so important because it contributes to so many things as an athlete.
Mental health is a lot more accepted and recognized. So I feel like seeing these different things as not as a bad thing, but as a good thing or a superpower or something like that. It helps with people being more comfortable to get access to treatment. It helps expressing to your staff, to your family, and other things and not be scared of mental health because it's not a scary thing. It's what everyone has.
We want to know the good stuff. We want to know the challenging stuff. We're here to help you. And so to encourage you to make use of those resources, reach out, have a conversation, because that's all it is starting a conversation. And then once you have that conversation, maybe we keep the conversation going.
The Cincinnati Bearcats are playing some great volleyball right now. They already have double-digit wins going into Big 12 play. One of the main reasons, sophomore Sydney Nolan. She's second on the team in both kills and digs and really has stepped up on the right side after the Bearcats have dealt with some injuries. Let's check in with Sydney.
I would say everything about this school was super appealing to me, having a team-first atmosphere, also having coaches that care about us as players as well as people, and then, just like you said, having the ability to come back and play around where I'm from is a super cool thing. I would say I learned how to compete at the college level and what it takes to be a competitor, and then I also just learned to adjust to the speed of the game as the season went on. That conversation really just looked like them just saying they think that I could really help the team out in that position, and And my mindset has just been giving myself grace to know that I am learning a new position and spot, just knowing that it's really not that different from the positions I have played, and I have trained in many different of the front row positions. I've learned just that confidence truly is key, and just to stick with the team at all times, because we do a great job of always coming back into the middle and focusing on what we as a team can do to be better. I would say as a team, we've learned how to set goals for ourselves and standards, and just what we can do to accomplish what we want by the end of the season. Be the best I can in any spot that this team needs me to be in, and also just be there for anyone who needs anything, like try to be a leader the best I can. And then as a team, I'd say we definitely are aiming to be in the top half of the Big 12 and make it to the NCAA championship. It definitely played a role just because we are such great friends, and I really trust her so much, and just her loving this program so much really showed me like what a special place it is here. And then just being back with her has been amazing, and it's just been like old times when we played club together, and it's just brought me so much joy and been such fun times. I'm super excited. My family's coming, and then my high school varsity, JV, and freshman team is all coming to represent, but so we're super excited to see all of them, and it's going to be a fun game for sure.
Coming up on Bearcats All Access, a sit-down with linebacker Jared Bartlett, his emotional story and how he became one of the leaders on this Cincinnati Bearcats team. Coming up on Bearcats All Access.
Bearcats All Access. Sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
Jared, I heard you have a nickname for yourself. The Wolf?
By myself, do you mean I came up with the nickname?
That is the rumor. That's just not what the truth is?
That's not the truth, yeah.
Where does the Wolf come from?
This is a story. We took a trip to Europe, and one of the hotel workers that were in the hotel gave me the nickname. She said I reminded her of a wolf somehow. And I kind of like came back to the States, and then my team called me that there, and then I came here, and it kind of just like translated over. And at first it was kind of like a joke, but then, you know, I play kind of aggressive. I play pretty hard-nosed, so like a name kind of stuck around.
You've had a lot of obstacles in your life. First, speaking about your brother when you were younger, how did you overcome dealing with the loss of a family member?
That was really tough. I think that football was kind of like an escape for that. I know that through our relationship, he was really adamant about me being successful in the things that I did, and football was something that we really worked on doing. I think that he wanted to play football, but he never really got the opportunity to. So I felt as if furthering my skill and my career with it would be something I could do for him.
And you've been through it, going back to earlier this year, the loss of your father.
I know my dad wanted like me to be successful with anything that I did, similar with my brother. But it was just one of those things where like I can't. I've come too far to come this far. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I know my dad would want. I know he wouldn't want me to shut down. So I got to keep going. And I also have to be a leader of a bunch of guys on the field, so I can't give up on them.
I've spoken to some of your teammates. They said you show up here, they knew about what you were going through. You didn't miss a beat. You were in the weight room. You were at practice, and you were there for your guys. Why was that important for you to be here for your football family?
It's a team effort. I mean, like I said, family is really important, but with the team dynamic, you can't really have a weak link because you're only as strong as your weakest link. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that weak link, and I felt as if we have something really special here, and the only way to capitalize on that is to keep moving forward.
A success story from your family, your other brother, Stephon Tuitt, stud, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What influence has your brother had on your football career?
I think with a lot of young players, they have to form a routine, and that takes a lot of trial and error. I think that through my process, that trial and error has been limited because of the things that I could look at him and like, oh, this worked for him. Oh, this is something that I can do for recovery. Or this is something I can do. I can eat this. I can drink this. I should do this certain way. And I think that looking at him as a role model has really affected my game and my career.
After a game, is he the first to call you?
We usually wait like a day.
Okay. You get the grace period.
Yeah, a little grace period. But after that, we'll probably hop on like a phone call or something like that, or I'll go up there to his house because it's not that far away, and we'll just we go over film and stuff like that. Yeah.
What brought you here to transfer to Cincinnati?
So when I took my visit here, The first guy that I met was Dante Corleone. And obviously, last year's season didn't go how anyone wanted it to go. But just based off the conversations I had with him and then talking to some of the other guys after that, I knew that there was going to be a shift in the culture here and a shift in where the team's trajectory was going to go. And I wanted to be a part of that.
You're a great college football player. When you transferred, you could have went somewhere, I'd imagine, that's an established program with a good culture, that is a team that has a recent history of winning.
Yeah.
Why choose to be the guy to help rebuild a culture?
I don't know. You can call me selfish. I just wanted to. I wanted to make my mark somewhere. I wanted my name to be known. I mean, I could have done that really anywhere, but I felt like I wanted to do that and then create like a legacy or create something better for the next year to come.
Doug Martin is the longest tenured head coach in the Cincinnati Athletics program with his 16th season with the men's golf team. Martin has had a great career thus far, leading the Bearcats to their first NCAA tournament appearance, countless records, and led the team to their first Big 12 team or individual title just last year. And this season, Martin and the Bearcats, they're ready for another big year.
Well, I think this year's team, we really have a lot of tournament experience, a lot of college tournament experience. I think Ryan Ford and Connor McNeely fill that void of players of the past, the Sam Jeans, the Ty Gingricks, the Austin Squires. Those two players have a chance to have dominant seasons, in my opinion. From the rest of the roster, I think we have a couple freshmen that I think are going to contribute. I think in general, this is probably the deepest team I've ever had since I've been here at Cincinnati. And I think really it's going to be up to Austin and I to have the right guys in the lineup each week or the hot guys, so to speak. The summer is a significant part in the growth of a college program. We have our fall schedule, we have our spring schedule, and then you have basically middle of May through the middle of August. That is a dead time for these guys. Now you have the Elite Amateur Series, which is the top, basically, collegiate players in the country that meet up every week, and I think it's an 8 or a 9 tournament series. We had Connor and Ryan both play in some of those events this year. Your development as a player really occurs in your summertime, in your summer months. It's a key part to obviously play a difficult schedule, play difficult golf courses, and grow your game. So the summer is a significant part to the growth of our program. One of my goals in my program is to take our players to play in every condition possible. We're going to be playing in probably some Poana, probably some cooler, rainy weather out in Oregon, so that's going to be great. We haven't played in the desert, so it's going to be great to play in the desert, whether it's Scottsdale or Phoenix. So, really as you're trying to grow your program, you're also trying to grow your players and put them in situations to where they get the experience every different golf course around the country. I think number one, culture and family are really our two founding principles of our program. Is we have a great culture and we have a very much a family environment. Our facilities continue to grow, and that's just tremendous support that we have inside the building here. And then just Austin's and my message about if you want to get better, this is a great place to come. My experience of playing professional golf for 10 years, really you can't replace experience in any sport. And we just continue to sell the message of playing golf in the Big 12. The Big 12 clearly is one of the top golf conferences in the country year in and year out. And, what a great opportunity to play in that conference and the courses where they host their championship events, whether it be the Big 12 match play or the conference championship. The venues are second to none.
Coming up on Bearcats All Access, an emotional homecoming story for Cincinnati's new star tight end. We check in with Joe Royer and what his motivation is. From Purple Fridays to Saturdays at Nippert Stadium, tight end Joe Royer has been a force to be reckoned with this season for the Bearcats. Royer started off his college career at Ohio State University, ultimately transferring back home to Cincinnati to be closer to family after tragedy struck. Royer now plays with emotion on his sleeve with support from up above.
Joe Royer, tight end. I think you can see that on the field. I like to play with passion, like to kind of do some celebrations and stuff, whether I get a first down or a touchdown. And I just like to have fun really on the football field and off of it. So that's kind of my personality, just like to have fun.
Ranked as one of the 10 best players in the state. He started his career at Ohio State, but he felt he needed to come home.
So my career at Ohio State didn't really go as planned. Was dealing with a lot of injuries and whatnot, and I lost my mom in 2022. And after that, I was never really the same mentally and everything. And I just wanted to get back to home, being close to my dad, and just playing for the city where I grew up and meant so much to me. So that was really the main factor, is just coming home to be with family and play here. Yeah, my mom has impacted my football journey tremendously from a young kid, just getting me to practice in games, making sure I'm taken care of in that way. And, you know, when I lost her in 2022, there was a time when I didn't think I wanted to continue playing football, but I knew that's what she would want me to do, and that's kind of the reason why I came home as well, because I just wanted to come home and continue to play.
Formation. See how many pin sends. They send 6. Quick pass over the middle. Royer. Touchdown! Touchdown! Bearcats! Royer up the middle of the field for his first college TD.
I always had a plan whenever I scored my first touchdown and any other touchdown, whenever it may be, that I was gonna kiss both my hands and I point up and I wave to her. And I do that pregame after I say a little prayer before kickoff and everything. So that's just kind of very special to me and my family for sure. It's a little emotional during doing it, and I know my family was after it when I got to see them. It just meant so much to me and my family, and it's been a long time coming, and I was glad I was able to do it back home and when we were playing at Nippert too, so it made it extra special.
That's all the time we have today on Bearcats All Access. Coming up, the Cincinnati Bearcats later today taking on UCF. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to tune in every week at 11:30 a.m. on WCPO 9 for Bearcats All Access.